Ali from the Plug-in Texas Coalition. We're here today to release a new report titled Plug-in Cars, Powering America Toward a Cleaner Future. A new report that shows that electric cars can actually lower global warming emissions, lower air pollution, as well as our dependence on oil. For more than 50 years, the car has played a central role in American life. And recently, the business model of major American automakers was centered on the sale of large cars and SUVs. However, with the looming threat of peak oil and the growing threat of global warming, it's actually making these gasoline trucks and cars even less viable for our society. Now, a decade into the 21st century, it seems that American automakers are finally working towards making electric cars the norm rather than the exception. With more Americans focused on the environmental and economic impact of the consequences of our oil dependence, car makers are actually scrambling to provide consumers with the cleanest and most fuel-efficient cars. So our new report, Plug-in Cars, Powering America Toward a Cleaner Future, answers many questions about plug-ins, and it also lays out a plan for local, state, and federal officials to increase the number of vehicles on the ground. The findings of the report are the following. First of all, plug-in cars can reduce air pollution. Powering a car on electricity will help reduce pollution by 93% less smog-forming volatile organic compounds and 31% less nitrogen oxide emissions than powering a car on gasoline, even when you take into account the pollution from the generation of electricity. If we were to power cars solely on wind and solar energy, we would practically eliminate all emissions related to driving cars. Secondly, plug-in cars can reduce global warming pollution. More than 40 recent studies show that plug-in cars can lower carbon dioxide emissions a lot compared to traditional gas-powered cars. And third and last, plug-in electrics can actually reduce our dependence on oil in this country, as well as lower the cost of fuel. On average, the electricity costs between 3 to 5 cents per mile with average rates, which is the equivalent of 75 cents to $1.25 per gallon of gas. Electric vehicles provide a great opportunity to help America tackle the dual challenges of global warming and a dependence on oil. So Environment Texas urges state, local, and federal officials to fully harness the power of plug-ins by setting clean car standards and low-carbon fuel standards and supporting smart grid technologies that would allow plug-ins to help stabilize the electricity grid. And to maximize the benefit of electric cars, we need to make sure that we get more of our energy from clean and renewable sources. So we should definitely increase the amount of energy that we get from wind, sun, and other renewable sources in our state and our country. And finally, I want to thank both Mayor Parker and Senator Ellis for being here. Both of them have shown passion and leadership on the environment. And we want to thank them for everything that they have done and that they continue to do to make Houston the clean energy capital of the world. Thank you very much, and now I'd like to introduce Mayor Annise Parker.
I appreciate the chance to be here today, and actually I really appreciate the fact that we're having Chamber of Commerce weather. And, that this is a perfect time to be outside in Houston enjoying the day. We're here in front of City Hall for several reasons, but one being that we have a plug-in center just to my left that we have made available for electric cars that need to top up while they're here. During the course of my campaign, I spoke to many people concerned with environmental issues, and I spent some time with the Electric Car Association of Houston, and they pressed me on the issue of making our city more friendly for owners of electric vehicles, but also talked to me extensively about the long-term impact of conversion to electric vehicles. What is important is that each of us individually makes conscious decisions on what our carbon footprint is going to be, and then acts on those decisions. I don't expect every Houstonian to suddenly convert to an electric vehicle. What I expect is that each Houstonian begins to be more conscious and more aware and makes choices that benefit the whole. As a city, we have moved forward in a number of areas. We announced that we would be doing more recycling of yard waste and making it more efficient by going to compostable bags for our lawn trimmings. We have been purchasing clean and renewable energy within the city of Houston. We're trying to incentivize recycling by linking with Recycle Bank to encourage those areas that have our new green recycling bin. Another innovation. Moving forward to single-stream recycling, but to encourage citizens by offering incentives the more they put in those new green bins. We've expanded our hybrid fleet in the city of Houston to more than 700 vehicles. And as of July 1st, 2009, the city of Houston is purchasing 2 billion kilowatt hours from Texas wind farms annually through June 2013. This will supply 32% of our annual requirements for electrical load. We're going to continue to look for ways to innovate, to lead, to encourage, to incentivize, realizing that we all share this area together, that we have a particular interest in making sure that we improve our air quality in the face of potentially changing federal regulations. And we know that we're going to have strong partners at the state and federal level as we do this, and I'm particularly glad to be joined today by Senator Rodney Ellis, and I'll invite him up.
Thank you, Mayor Parker. It's a great day to be in Houston, a great day to be at City Hall with you, Madam Mayor. I was so embarrassed to pull up in my SUV. I parked it at my office, I hid it in the garage, and I rushed over here to this press conference because this is an important subject. The current design of the automobile, as we know it, is no longer sustainable. It is no longer viable. It's no longer in our national interest, and that's why we're here today. We need to change that. Global warming, energy independence, and the latest economic downturn have had the cumulative effect on the future of the American automobile, and it has had a devastating impact, and we all know it. Gasoline-fueled cars are the nation's largest source of pollution. Trucks and SUVs, like the one that I hid down the street, produce 12 tons of pollution per vehicle, like the one that I drove this morning. The electric automobile, both plug-ins and hybrids, offer a better way to reduce emissions from global warming pollution while reducing our dependence on foreign oil. If half the light vehicles in the United States were powered by clean electricity, total fleet emissions would be lessened by 62% by the year 2030. Last session, I had the privilege of being the lead sponsor on Senate Bill 129, which raised the speed limit at which electric vehicles can travel from 25 miles per hour to 35 miles per hour, and allows for, and allows for travel in electric vehicles on roads with posted limits of 45 miles per hour. So, Mayor, that means that I could have left my house even later than I did, hit that big gas guzzler, and made it over here on time if I could increase that speed limit a little more, and I'm going to try that at the next session of the legislature.
That's right, all right.
With passage of bills like Senate Bill 129, we've taken steps here in Texas to be responsive to the growing need for electric vehicles on our roads, but the work is far from done. The next step is to promote the construction of electric vehicle charging stations all throughout urban centers all over the state of Texas, provide incentives to buy electric vehicles, and create a preparedness task force with illuminating issues that arise while preparing Texas for electric vehicles. President Obama has set a goal, a very ambitious goal, of 1 million electric vehicles by the year 2015. By continuing to make electric vehicles a priority, we can reach that ambitious goal. And I want to say to you, what better place to lead that effort than right here in the energy capital of America, Houston, Texas. Thank you.
Now, Senator, you could have also ridden your bicycle here. He is an avid cyclist, and that too is a good way to commute, and actually even better than the electric vehicle.